Question, the member from Huron-Bruce.
Thank you very much, Speaker. My question is to the Premier. Speaker, last week the Premier showed Ontarians just how out of touch she is. At an event held by Niagara's Chamber of Commerce, the Premier had the audacity to call Ontarians very bad actors with regards to the environment. If you ask me, Speaker, I think that the Premier is a very bad actor herself when she pretends to care for Ontarians. Speaker, really and truly, all the Premier cares about is her cap-and-trade cash grab that will take more hard-earned dollars out of Ontario pockets so she can send those dollars to big business in California. Will the Premier stand in this House and apologize to the people of Ontario for her inexcusable comments last week?
Mr. Speaker, I have said publicly at least twice that I shouldn't have used that language. I recognize that that language was taken in a way that I certainly did not intend it, Mr. Speaker. Here's what I was saying. I was saying that we have a lot more to do as Ontarians, as Canadians, Mr. Speaker, as people who live in a northern, industrialized country, Mr. Speaker. We have a large carbon footprint. We've done a lot. Ontarians have led the way, Mr. Speaker. We shut down all the coal-fired plants. We have a strong renewable industry, Mr. Speaker. We have a 90% emissions-free electricity grid. But what I was saying in that conversation was that there is more to do, Mr. Speaker, and we will continue to lead as Ontarians, and we are leading the country, Mr. Speaker. Now we have a federal government that finally wants to work with us. Now Canadians can begin to lead as well, Mr. Speaker.
Be seated, please. Be seated, please. Thank you. Supplementary.
Back to the Premier, Speaker. I did not hear an apology. Life has gotten harder under the Premier's watch. Small businesses in Huron-Bruce are asking why they have to keep paying for the debt retirement charge until 2018 when the charge is finally off the residential bills. And on top of that, consumers want transparency on their gas bills to see the true cost of cap and trade. But unfortunately, the Premier has chosen to bury that. How dare the Premier arrogantly claim Ontarians are bad actors when this Premier's bad policy and wasteful spending continues to hurt their pocketbooks? Speaker, will the Premier do the honourable thing and apologize to the good people of Ontario for her disgraceful comments in the week of October?
Be seated, please. Be seated, please. Thank you.
Premier. I'm very sorry that I used that language. I've said that a number of times. I shouldn't have used that language. The point I was making, Mr. Speaker, is that as Ontarians, as Canadians, we have a lot to do. Our carbon footprint is large, Mr. Speaker, and I was including myself in that notion that we as Ontarians living in a northern, developed country, Mr. Speaker, we have a large carbon footprint and we can't be complacent. Even though we, as the people of Ontario, have led, the people of Ontario have supported the shutdown of the coal-fired plants, have supported the renewable industry, Mr. Speaker, but we have more to do. And, Mr. Speaker, what I would say to the party opposite is that I hope that they understand that working collectively, we all have a responsibility to lower our carbon footprint, to get rid of pollution, Mr. Speaker, to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, because that is the responsibility of this generation globally, is to make sure we do what we can to make the globe.
Thank you.